Hi class, and welcome to your next video on population ecology. So we're going to be talking about population ecology, which is a branch of biology that deals with the number of individuals of particular species that are found in an area and how and why those numbers change over time. So in population ecology, we're looking at birth and death rates and organisms that lack certain properties. Specifically, we're looking at how are we growing, what are our populations like, and how are we going to change that over time. So one thing we want to know is our population density. So it's the numbers of individuals of a species per unit of area or given volume at a given time. So we want to know how densely populated an area is. Take, for example, New York City. New York City is much more densely populated than an area such as the Midwest in like Kansas. So population density is going to tell us how many individuals there are in a specific unit. So when we look at it, we look at population dispersion. There's many different forms of, or 3 different forms of population dispersion. And they're pretty much exactly what they sound like. They're random, clumped, or uniform. Random can be kind of anywhere. Clumped obviously is in a specific part of the habitat, and uniform is very evenly spaced. Our 3 factors that are going to affect our population size are birth, death, and immigration or immigration. Remember, immigration is entrance or into a population, and immigration is exiting. So our biotic potential is the maximum rate at which a species or population could increase in size under ideal conditions. And this depends on ideal conditions with limiting factors. So do we have enough food? Do we have enough water? Do we have enough space? Do we have everything that the specific species needs? So if we reach the biotic potential, we will see what is called exponential growth. And that is growth of the population that increases drastically over a short period of time. If we look at a growth curve of this, it'll look like a J-shaped curve. And we call that specifically a J curve. It will not occur forever because the population will eventually reach carrying capacity. And carrying capacity is the largest population that can be maintained for an indefinite time by a particular environment. At some point when you reach carrying capacity, you will no longer be increasing the amount of population. You will have the amount of births equal the amount of deaths. So this is your J-shaped curve. And then we have logistic population growth. So this is what we generally see, especially when we reach carrying capacity. We have the initial lag phase, which is where our population is small. But then we reach biotic potential, and so the exponential phase where our population is increasing rapidly because it has all of its limiting factors. But then we reach carrying capacity and we level off. In this, we see logistic growth. This kind of graph is also called an S curve. So we had the J curve, now we have the S curve. When we see carrying capacity, we have the S curve. There are 2 forms of limiting factors, density dependent and density independent. Density dependent regulates population growth by affecting a larger proportion of the population, such as the population density rises, so predation, disease, and competition. And density independent factors limit population growth but are not influenced by changes in population density, such as hurricane or fire, more natural disaster type things. Make sure you have good notes, and we will be discussing these things in class.